my first filming and recording of any of this. I don't know why I feel nervous, but I do. And I shouldn't, because it's silly. Because it's not like I haven't been in front of a camera before. It's just been a very long time. So, it's not like I haven't been in front of a bunch of people either. I taught for years. So as I talk to myself throughout the whole thing, I guess we can kind of get on to the subject. I was cleaning these rocks. Okay, I cleaned the rocks after I pulled them out of the plant. And they get all grimy and stuff like that. So let it sit in some vinegar and scrub them up really well. And I decided that they needed a nice polish. I don't have a rock polisher or anything like that. And I was thinking about my counters because they always look beautiful, the sink and the chrome. And I have this stuff that I picked up from my client's house that does an excellent job. Now, it's not like I stole from the client or anything like that. They were moving and had a bunch of stuff they were getting rid of, and I'll take it if it's useful. So I picked this up from them, and I've used it. It's been fantastic. And the bottle's getting kind of low, and I'm cleaning these rocks, and I say to myself, I wonder what they're using in here. So I turn it over. Now this, I haven't looked up the price of it, and I'm assuming this bottle's probably anywhere from, I don't know, $5 to $10. Maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. But I looked in the bottle, and on the ingredients it says contains water, mineral oil, and a food-grade emulsifier. And I think about it and I say, well, an emulsifier, food grade, that's great. Your clean counters, chrome, all that with it, stainless steel. And you want it to be food grade because your food's going to be on there, right? So that's good. Water, we have plenty of that. Mineral oil, very different from mineral spirits. Very different from mineral spirits. But mineral oil, that's what I use to clean my cutting board, to oil my cutting boards with. I know I've got to have some of that around. So I go ahead and I dig down looking for it. And I'm looking and trying to find the mineral oil. And sure enough, here it is. An intestinal lubricant for relief of occasional constipation. Tasteless, odorless, colorless, hence why we use it on the cutting boards. And obviously consumable, food grade, if you're going to use it as an intestinal lubricant. So, after thinking of what a food grade emulsifier is, well, what is an emulsion? An emulsion is when you take two substances that don't readily mix together, like oil and water. We're all familiar with that. And you mix it up to where it has really tiny bubbles, and those bubbles keep the two substances, oil and water, like when you make salad dressing, keep those two substances mixed, in a way of saying. And they are, because those little bubbles of the stuff just stay kind of next to each other. But they really, really, really can't combine. And on the bottle, it says here to shake well before using, which you're performing an emulsion when you do that. And an emulsifier, food grade emulsifier, would be a sort of chemical process. So I said, I don't really need the emulsifier. And I can get this mineral oil for way less than this 12 fluid ounce bottle. So I said, what the heck? I grabbed a jar, I put some water in it, and I took some mineral oil, poured some of it in there, and you can see clearly that oil and water do not mix. I'll get a photo of this, but you might be able to see the line here. You see that? Where this is all water, and this is the mineral oil. Mineral oil. We'll give it a good shake. We're creating an emulsion. I don't have an emulsion mixer thing. Stick one. You don't really need one. looks very much like what comes out of here. Let me pour a little bit down the counter. Go. Okay, I can see where the emulsifier is in there to really make those little tiny bubbles and particles stick together. And if I were to mix this for a whole lot longer, if I had a maybe wand mixer, that would look very much the same. Isn't that pretty, watching those little bubbles pop? These were the wrong kind of polishing. So, of course I don't have a rack. Get the old rack will do ya. And when we go to clean this up, it looks kind of the same, except for the water that's in this. And I'm wondering if we really even need the water at all. So, give that a moment with the directions. And then we can take the dry side of the cloth and dry it up. And take the dry side of the cloth and dry it up. And both sides of the counter look identical. Absolutely identical. All right, let's see what it does for these guys. Now, there are photos of these pebbles, and there are photos of this rock in the video. These rocks, plural. And they're really quite fascinating rocks, but you can't really tell by the way they look right now. Maybe a little bit when they're wet. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna use this stuff straight, because that water is just kind of dilutes everything. I don't remember which one I used for. Go for this one. See what happens. I'll give you some photos afterwards. They're quite beautiful, really. Now, of course, this will wash off in all this open water. It's not a permanent shine. But man, you sure do see some amazing things come out of this common yard rock. Definitely conglomerate. It has some sedimentary layers in here. It definitely has a well infused crystalline structure in there. It is a geode that I have not broken open yet. Igneous, metamorphic. Fancy words, I know. I just looked them up. I'm kidding. I actually did take geology. Let's take a look at this one, see how it turns out. And you can see the beautiful colors that are popping out here again. I will give you some footage of it more close up so you can really see what happens. Now, if it can do that to these yard stones, it can pull out that gorgeous color and detail. Absolutely amazing, beautiful. This one looks like it has a bit of gold in it even, or maybe even almost looks like a little bit of tiger's eye in there. Anyway, if it can do that to those rocks, it can most definitely do that to the counters, and it can most definitely do that to the stainless steel sink and the chrome. We'll get to the refrigerator later, same idea. And anything else in here that you like to be shiny and sparkly and take care of very easily, but it costs a whole lot less than this. I can nearly guarantee that. And goes a whole lot further. I wish the camera would capture all the color and lighting in this, but here are our rocks. The ones that looked all gray and dull and boring, and that added just the mineral oil to it. And you can see the geode, the almost salt-like crystalline structure that is inside of it. And you can see all of these different layers, all these pieces that were crushed together to make
this very complex rock. There is very little that I can imagine that a person can create with more beauty than what time, pressure, and nature created with all this complexity to it. Imagine the millions of years that this took and what that rock has been through to become what it is today. This one here. See what I mean with the similarity to the tiger's eye? You see the gold kind of shimmering in there. All these different layers. Again, time and pressure, different minerals. Imagine the different continents that are contained within this one rock, the stories that it would have to tell. And yet we use it as a paperweight, or something to hold a plant up, or something to keep the dirt down. Humorous, in a very ironic sort of way.